Welcome, everyone. This is Pine Needles, and you're listening to LOTRO Players News, where we take a look at the latest news in LOTRO and hear LOTRO players. And this week we have with us Terry Adwin.
Hi!
Sanswinda.
Lies.
I don't think
She's not here
back yet.
Oh, a quiet Sans. Guarendas.
Hello, everyone.
And Calavathian.
It's me.
Let us begin by congratulating LOTRO for having their 14th anniversary. That's 14 years of LOTRO if you count from the official launch date. And thus we currently have our 14th anniversary celebration all throughout the servers. And yesterday they had a 14th anniversary stream where Cordovan was doing all sorts of crazy things all over the place from what I've heard.
Yeah, I was looking for the article for the 14th anniversary for the rewards, but I can't find it.
Yes. And of course, you get your little the rewards bundle you get now based on how many years you have been playing LOTRO. So anyone who's a premium or VIP who logs in within this year gets a bump in their anniversary reward. So I think
only monster players still can't exchange theirs.
Well, I'm not talking about the iron tokens right now.
Steel tokens.
Steel tokens.
See, you don't even know, Pine.
They'll fix it. It's fine.
Right.
It's that metallic. It's that metallic token. That I don't know what kind of but it's metallic. I know that.
Okay. Yes. It's processed iron then, with little carbon mixed in there.
Yes.
Yes. It's happy 14th anniversary to LOTRO. And of course,
LOTRO is now old enough to be in like 8th grade here in the United States. It's a junior high kid grade age.
Not to be in 8th grade. All right, I never thought about that. I didn't know whether I still have not gotten a grasp of what the years are for middle school. So I was wondering then whether it's junior high, middle school.
Honestly, it kind of depends on where you are and what middle school you are, because middle school, when I was growing, like depending on like where I was, my middle school was considered like a junior high, so 7th and 8th grade, which was separate. But I've seen other places that middle school starts in 6th grade and it's like 6th and 7th grade, and they have like, or even 6th through 8th grade. Some places consider 9th grade a middle school, and you're in high school when you hit 10th grade. I don't know. Yes. Like I said, it kind of depends on where you are.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, because
else.
Actually, now I remember there are some school districts in New York where I think they said whether they divided high school to start at 10th or 9th grade, because they considered it, they didn't have middle school, they called it junior high versus high school. And yeah, they split. And on Long Island, where they have every single village has their own school district, it went haphazard on which direction they went on that. So yes, it was how things went on there. But let's get out of middle school and head on into a dev diary where Maid of Lions has given the long-awaited dev diary for Gisley's favorite.
Let's get out of middle school and talk about a diary.
Well, no, this is okay. So this is more than just how Gisley's favorite came to be. This also talks about like Maid of Lions' early days at what was Turbine back in the day.
Right.
So this is like a really fantastic read, and Maid of Lions is my favorite dev. I'm not even gonna lie, because he writes so much story, and so much of it is really, really good. So I had so much fun reading this. I keep pushing once again, we need this guy on the show. Yeah.
So yes, Gisli's favorite. Yes. So he went about. So he's not going to talk about this particular quest, but of course talking about his first week at Turbine. And that's where he started. And of course, he's a very, very well-known dev in all that he's done for the game since then. And after that, we have The Beacon, issue 201, where it looks like somebody is following a giant.
Yep.
Yes.
I know what they're doing.
I know what they're doing too. I did that quest.
I
Yep.
do too.
I think a lot of people have done that quest recently. And in the community spotlight, they also have a happy 14th anniversary to LOTRO. And they had a LOTRO stream, of course, on Friday. And you could go to the stream. They probably still have it up so that you see previous streams if you wanted to see what was on there, where they had various streamers all throughout the day. And Cordovin was on there during his, where he interviewed several of the people working at Turbine or Standing Stone Games. Well, some of them have been around long enough that they did start out in the Turbine days. And also, meet a hobbit who leveled to 130 over 8 months just by cooking pie.
Because
You
of
could-
course it's a hobbit.
Right, and you can read the tale of cooking with Sim on the LOTRO Reddit. So yes. Cooking with pie. That is
Sure.
quite. And also,
I'm actually surprised
yes.
it took as long as 8 months.
I was wondering, I was surprised.
Maybe
that you
he's
could
not
find a-
VIP and doesn't get the super fast farming and cooking stuff.
I just
Well,
can't
that is
fathom
it.
him saying that he was doing like 10,000 or 15,000 at a time.
Oh no,
God.
that I totally get, because those are the kinds of stacks that I make when I do it.
Hoy.
Huge stacks of pies.
I mean, remember my little pipeweed binge? How much of that pipeweed did I send to you, Landis?
We were giving it away left and right. The extras that you had sent to
I
me, I
still
gave
have some
to
left.
the kin for
I
our
only
festival.
gave out like a quarter of it.
So much pipeweed you could smoke to life as a lore master. The entirety of the people in the Pelennor fields who fell. Why was this not a thing during the battle? Okay.
I mean,
Okay, everybody,
I'm not gonna lie,
back
but
up. We're going to the Black Gate.
other champion is only like level 80 something, and at least half of his levels have come from farming and cooking.
And there is actually a pie for every tier of cooking?
There's not, unfortunately.
Then I was wondering, how are you going to get XP at certain points and then level up those
Maybe
tiers?
making the ingredients for future
Yeah,
pies.
you make the ingredients for future pies.
Okay, I guess that makes sense. Oh, it's like, for example, I think at Apprentice, I can't remember if there was a pie there, but you have all those pie crusts that you need to make.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. And then later you go up to the other barley and you need different stuff like flour and things.
Yes, all right, that makes sense. Also, a day on the green field was this weekend. Maybe You can check with LOTRO artists and see if there is a link to any sort of replay of it if you're interested in that. I don't know if there is one. And we had the Roving Threat Grand Tour of Middle-earth is taking place tomorrow on Sunday on Crick Hollow. And you can read more about that player-run event. But of course, since that is tomorrow from this recording, if you're listening to this on Monday, you would have missed it. And the second Battle of the Greenfields is taking place on May 2nd on Laurelin. And you can read more about this Hobbit-themed event over on the Lost Madam blog. So here's our LOTRO comment of the day, or the week, yes. What is the biggest thing you do different for your characters today than you did when you first started playing the game?
I actually
run with
changed their
people.
gear to be better.
Sometimes. When you don't forget.
Well, and I used the skirmish camp to do so a lot. But no, I didn't know anything about this type of a game, and I did not change my outfit for a very long time until somebody pointed out that there was actually better gear, and I could be running around in not level 5 gear. Or level 1. I might have still been in level 1 gear at that point. Yeah.
Oh, that would be unfortunate, especially if you're trying to kill something and...
I was very bad at killing things. I was very relieved to have died and then found a very peaceful farm with a chicken. And then I got the chicken killed too. But, oops.
Peaceful
After
farm
I
chicken. Wait a minute.
accidentally came on.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you got the chicken kill too. Was that when you were the chicken?
Yeah, I was trying to stay away from the fox. I didn't realize I didn't need to stay away from the fox. It was, oops. Yeah.
All right.
Poor chicken.
Anyone else have anything that they do differently than the...
Well, when I
Did we-
began, I was running solo. Well, after Terry introduced me. But I was running solo. And now I don't. Well, I still do. But not all the time. And I learned about kins, and I joined kins, and so yeah, the solo life is not as prevalent for me as when I started. Oh, not all the time.
I learned how to be bold and fearless running with Sanswinda. And also how to manage to most of the time to just barely end up not going off a cliff. There's only been once or twice that I actually Sanswinded the cliff because I forgot we were higher than we were. But for the most part, yeah, my reflexes are really good around cliffs, and I've gotten a lot braver because running around with Sans and doing the End of the Forsaken at level me 20 something and her 30 something, and not knowing that we probably shouldn't be doing it just two burglars. Yeah, that was the thing. So yeah, I'm a lot more fearless about questing than I was when I first started.
I did the End of the Forsaken with my hunter alone. That didn't really work out well either. So I feel your pain.
Well, the amazing thing is we actually succeeded Calabathian, which really just kind of that set the bar for a whole lot of other crazy that I've done since then.
That was fun.
Yeah, I try to think here that because of how early I started, I could just start out with. I think biggest thing because first thing I do that's different for them is to give them a pine name, because I didn't start using pine names until the release of Moria.
Oh, really?
So what were the names of your original characters that didn't have pine names?
Oh, there are all sorts of names that I was using. They're pretty much
Better question is, do any of them still exist?
Let's see, there's only... Well, none of those no pre-Moria character still exists on my system. Now, I do have a character name that I revived later on, and that's when I was doing my Bingo Boffin series. That I was using I decided to call my character for the Bingo Boffin series Petronella Turner. So that was a name that from my Pre-Moria days. So I think that's the only Pre-Moria name that I'm still currently using. Because just about everything else is a Pine name. Or some attempt to give it a Pine name that's in another language, even if it's very badly done sometimes.
So
I think for
what
me,
happened to those characters, Pine? Did you delete them, or are they just locked on old worlds, or did you just rename them?
I think this is back in the days before rename. Back in those days, rename was delete and start a new character.
Ouch.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they all got deleted. Much the way of all of the old Terrys got deleted. I think for me, actually, the biggest change is that I've gone from just barely trying to survive in the game to looking for ways to make it sometimes more challenging and sometimes just things to make it different from the last time I took a character through something. I've had a couple of different challenge characters. I had my challenge mini who wasn't using allies. I have a challenge burglar still in Moria on Arkenstone who had all of the stuff turned off on the map and the radar, and that's actually a lot of fun, by the way, to turn off all of the numbers so that you don't actually know how much. Yeah, I did. I streamed that.
You streamed some of those because I actually caught one or two of them and commented at the time. That was fun to watch.
Yeah, it's
nerve-wracking for me. That was before the Sanswinda Fearless era. I was like, oh god, there's no way I do that.
Well, it wasn't my first. First of all, it wasn't my first time through Moria. Second of all, it wasn't even my first time through Moria on a burglar because I'd already done it with Sarissa, and the original challenge on that character had been to see how far I could get him without getting into combat because I veteran statused him to 5 and then immediately took him to the Shire. So he was running pies and mail and stuff like that. And burglars can creep through around all those. He made it to level 12 before he actually got in a fight for the first time. And so then he got Valard to 50 to go to Moria. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to turn off a bunch. So I have all of the filters turned off. And it turns out that you can turn off a lot of things. I hadn't realized how much stuff the game provides us by default as assistance until I realized that you could turn it all off. So I do keep floating names on because floating names on the burglar is kind of how I keep track of my character on the screen because otherwise you're invisible and you can literally lose track of yourself in the middle of all that. So floating names was the one thing I did turn on, but I turned off all of the icons. So any of the little store banners or ring banners, all of that got turned off. I had no quest focus anything. I had points of interest turned on, and I'm pretty sure that was it. I think it was just points of interest. And so basically he's wandering around Moria talking to every dwarf he can find. And some of them actually will have little chat thingies. They don't really do much, but if you're lost, they're not at all helpful. But it was a lot of fun how much I could remember of Moria. We did, and then Sands and Cinders joined me on a couple of hobbits. So we're 3 burglars, but I'm the tall one because I was a man, a male human. So it was the man and his hobbit lasses. That was such a weird experience.
It really is. I've been in that situation too.
I'm frequently the tall one in my questing groups anyway in LOTRO because Sans inevitably plays a hobbit and then Pineleaf plays Pineleaf on, when it's Terry and friends. So Terry's a human champion, so she's tall, surrounded, flanked by a pair of hobbits who are usually trailing in her wake because as the champion I'm going rawr and she's just charging head on into danger. where you talk about doing it. Now, I've always done the charge into danger. It's for me back in the early days, it was okay, well, this is probably going to get me killed, but what the heck, let's go with it and charge, because champion, I'm going to do as much damage as possible. And this was before trait trees. So yeah, really long time. And then trait trees happened and I got the hang of those. That took a while. Because I wasn't in any of the beta testing for that, and I actually had kind of taken a little hiatus from the game in the middle of that. So I came back and I'm like, what's this? But it turned out to be super helpful for me because prior to that, I had skills that I had no idea what they were doing. And I learned to be more careful about reading the tooltips for skills to figure out where they would go on the bar and in rotation. And well, now Terry's just beast when it comes into combat. She basically just runs in and grabs a bunch of stuff and mows it down. And sometimes Pine and Sans will pick off a loner, and sometimes they'll just kind of stand there going, okay. Pine Leaf in particular is great at the, okay, I guess you didn't really need any help with that. And Sans is going, yay! I'm here to provide leafy feet.
Imports.
Sans is my pocket hunter. Sans is the reason why, actually, no matter how many times it goes on sale, Terry will never buy the 5-minute cooldowns for her returns.
All right. Then let's head into our fan site news. Fibro Jedi has updated his extensive anniversary event guide, so you can check that out on his blog. Further adventures rewards are now visible in Nekomalu. So you get to see what the...
Yeah, there's a lot of housing stuff from the new.
Yeah,
for
so
their
Rivendell Gazebo, Courtyard Statue. It's a lot of stuff from Rivendell, looks like. Bilbo is a visitor to your house? Okay.
Yes.
And yet, the goblin gazebos are not there.
Bilbo's treasure chest. Okay, I guess that makes sense. Large short term. Rivendell candlestick. Okay. Decorative Rivendell bench. Elegant wooden bench. And elegant wooden chair. So, some new things that you can place into your house. Then, here we go. And Wandering Around Artist shows off new outfits. So you can check the new anniversary rewards in the blog there. So now we have the anniversary cosmetics. And what do you think about this year's cosmetics?
I actually haven't looked at them yet.
Oh,
I know. I'm behind. I kind of checked out of stuff yesterday because it was a long day on the end of a very long week, and spent most of today still recovering from that. So yeah, I'm really behind on all the stuff.
all right. So showing off the new steed plus the cosmetics, and the cosmetics looks like are dyed blue and red. Then last week, apparently we weren't wanted in Harwick.
It was just Krister, not all of us. That's not fair.
Well, yes, but remember how we named the episode?
Oh, I know. But I'm just saying, that's not fair. You need to listen to the episode. It was just Krister. We're not the troublemakers.
Also on Twitch, Jay the Dwarf begins anew on Legendary. Maple Creatures plays with friends, and Busy Beth is a tricksy hobbit. And over on YouTube, Louis7 delves into a class viability tier list, and Gamer Penny heads to new Brand Beam. Barrett Beam. Barrett Beam? Okay. But class viability tier list. Oops. And apparently that was a video. All right. And Laurelyn Aaron returns with a new LOTRO webcomic, and you can find that on Twitter. On Twitter? You can do comics on Twitter? Yeah, I guess so. I guess you just announce it and link it there. All right.
Well, she
And
usually
this is
puts the picture.
okay. Then let's head into our screenshot of the week. This beautiful shot was submitted by William this week, who describes it thusly. This is a great Alduin from the great heights of a cold, foggy morning. Of the great. Now that's right. Did he mean Anduin or?
I think.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out whether that's a typo or I guess I don't know what the Alduin is if it's if it's not a typo. And that is it for our beacon for this week. So let's see what's on sale. Terry, what's on sale?
Oh, let's see. Well, the weekly coupon gets you regen food times 5 with coupon code should be pie now through April 29th. You know, if it was pie, I might actually use the code.
Maybe they should change the regeneration food to be a pie instead of crams.
Instead of crams? Yeah. And then we get
pie. I like it.
25% off vault storage and shared storage, inventory slots, currency cap now through April 29th.
I suppose if for some reason you don't have the currency cap lifted, that is a fairly decent price for it.
Yeah.
They won't let me buy any more inventory slots, though. They say I have the max. I'm sad.
Oh, well, that's the way it goes. Maybe someday they'll be able to optimize things well enough that they'll be able to improve the carrying space. If you think it's bad in LOTRO, you should see it on DDO.
It's actually a lot better with those carry-all bags now. That helps.
Yeah, that does help. Especially if a lot of your space is being taken up by something that's covered by one of the carry-alls.
Yeah.
Then let's head into our week in gaming. Calabathian, what were you up to?
Well, for this game, for Lord of the Rings, I rode out of Minas Tirith, traveled through time, back into the city gates, and went into by going into the future, and finished some year 3 anniversary hunt stuff by doing so. But there was time travel involved.
Time travel involved.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. To get from pre-battle to after battle without going to the midsummer thing, there you actually ride out of Minas Tirith, and then you ride back in immediately after at the end, and I'm like, hold up. So apparently it was just time travel. But I also was deeding in the Lone Lands on the Academy, along with everybody else. Strangely, Sans wanted to go fight spiders. That was the strangest. I was just, it took me aback.
It's the deed, isn't it, Sans?
It was the deed, and that place up near Ostguruth. If we're gonna fight spiders, that's the place to fight spiders. It is less creepy. It is less annoying. You don't have webs
It is kind of
telling
wide
you
open.
they can't see, that you can't shoot through them.
And we went to the other place eventually anyway.
We did end up going to the other place, but we don't have to spend nearly as long in the other place.
True.
So
yeah, we were in the ruins there near the Forsaken Inn, for goblins and other things. And there's, the entrance before you get into the spiders, and she ran up there and stopped. And I was like, right, so we don't need to go any farther than this. And she's like, oh, no, we do need to go through here. And I was like, but there's spiders. And she's like, yes, I know.
Spiders. We only
I was
needed,
like,
we only needed a hand. Well, we needed like way more than we should have needed still, but there weren't other low-level characters trying to get them, and so I didn't feel as bad about taking them. And I was with a big group, which helps. But we needed the spiders, and now we don't have to go kill those spiders ever again on those characters, right?
Yeah, on those characters. But yeah, that was surprising, because I was like, yeah, we don't need to go any. Sans is like, yeah, we do. And I'm like, 8-legged things. And she was just like, let's go kill them. And I'm like, who are you and what did you do with Sans? So, yeah. Arachno, what? Then I think last night, it's been a long night, but we went warging for the first time in a very long time as a group. And yeah, I thought someone in the public chat told everyone else, including us, to eat all of our veggies alive. And that was highly confusing to me, because, and it was just how it, I glanced at the chat when I was moving. I glanced at it, and they had said on one line about make sure to eat your veggies, and about the same time I looked, it was changing. Like someone else had said something, and their bottom word on their second line was something alive. And so they combined, and it was remember to eat your veggies alive. And I was for like half a second wondering about, okay, we're eating our vegetables alive.
The raw food movement is really big. Sorry.
Yeah, that's right. Eat it right off the tree. Yes.
I was just like, okay. Don't we usually do that? But anyway, there's fresh, and then there's fresh. So speaking of eating things, last week, and I missed mentioning this because I was at my niece's wedding last week. But speaking of eating things, last week my on Star Wars: The Old Republic, my Sith warrior that I play there threatened to eat 2 NPC people, and actually succeeded in scaring them off. Apparently it was hilarious, but yeah. I just saw that as my option and went, oh, let's see what this is. Click, and the answer had something to do with I'll eat you, Rawr! Like literally, and the NPCs were like, what? And I was like, okay, let's do this. He didn't really eat them, but he totally scared them. This week, though, on that game, the same Sith character got involved in a cougar attack.
Cougar attack.
Yes.
You're fighting mountain lions?
No. It would have been so much easier if I had been.
Not that kind of cougar.
That kind of cougar. No, the TLDR version is that the flirt option came up with this older Sith woman who I was actually supposed to go kill her son because he was the son of this major Sith Lord. And I was going to do that for my Sith Lord Master. But when I got there, she kind of conspired with me to save her son, and let's just, you're here, go kill the Darth. And here's my plan for what happens after, and it's a win-win situation. So I went and killed the Darth, and instead of his son, and came back, and this dude does not have a little bitty son. He's like a fully grown guy. So came back, and the flirt option came up in that conversation when it was done, and she was like giddy. So I flirted with her just, to have fun because, flirt. And you have to understand, every other interaction that has flirt with it that I have done up to this point for this game has just been that they'll say something maybe a little suggestive, and they get a little that little back and forth, and then everybody moves on and we change the subject, and nothing. Yeah, it's just words, and it's like ha ha ha. So I flirt with her, and she flirts back, and because it was like I think I said something like maybe you'd like to do something else for your reward, like hint hint. And she was totally not just down with that. She totally told her full-grown son, "Go find something to do, boy." And and I had to and that was that was bad enough. And Terry is actually as soon as I flirted, she was ew. This was the sentiment kind of given by the Twi'lek that is running with me as my companion, who is technically my slave. But it gave me the choice to dismiss her, something else, and say she stays. And I'm sitting here thinking, what? She does what? Anyway, I dismissed her. And the next thing I know, we have this cut scene, but the older woman is just like, she lifts her arms and she literally, you could see her in this cut scene, jumping at me off screen, going off screen. And I'm like, did she just attack me? And then we come back immediately from the cut scene, and nothing has happened except that the whole ending is she's like come back anytime, and I had a choice of what to say, and I'm like, I'm in for a penny, in for a pound at this point, and I'm like, leave the door open for me, leave the door unlocked. So and then we kind of went on. So yeah, shenanigans, because this week in the game, I had my smuggler go to Coruscant to chase her nemesis. What is with older people wanting to romance my character? Different character from my Sith, older guy in Coruscant. And, I was like, well, hey, I'm a smuggler, let's flirt. Yeah. Except there wasn't the whole, attacking of me like last time. But, yeah, so there was flirtatious thing, and he actually pulled a nice line out later on about, when we were at the end of everything, about, what do you think? He was very Han Solo here. What do you think about a guy like me and a smuggler like you? Lord help. But yeah, that's been my couple of weeks in gaming. How about you, Quirindus?
Well, I feel like I had an eventful week compared to you, but well, I went to Rivendell on Monday and helped calm the nerves of an elf there that was trying to track down a wandering hobbit, and I did make it back again. I also got the title back again, which I absolutely love. I really enjoyed the new story missions. They were a lot of fun. I did run into the bug in, I think, the next to the last, the episode 9, the story number 9, one where I got to the end, and one character locks himself in a cell, which was hilarious, by the way. But Bilbo's door would not be interacted with. I had to run all the way back to the beginning of the instance, and then when I came back, it worked. That was in the show, that was in the notes. But if anybody out there listening runs into that for some reason, hasn't done it yet, yes, that does seem to work. Run to the beginning of the instance and run back again, and then you can unlock Bilbo's door. But yeah, it was very annoying. But yeah, I enjoyed that really well. Unfortunately, some of the Wildwood missions then that gave me 10 out of 15 missions for the week. So I thought, okay, I'm gonna do some of these. I was trying to pick and choose because some of them wanted to send me back into Rhythm Set, which I had mentioned that I disliked more than the Remicant. I experienced it again willingly, kind of, girls on Sunday. Yeah. I just really don't want to go back in there again. I'm pretty sure somebody else is going to talk more about that also.
Okay, but
Sam.
only one of those missions you deal with spiders.
I know. I've noticed that. Fortunately,
The other ones aren't too bad, and you only have to do it once for the deed.
I know. I'll make myself eventually, but I just after twice in a row there of having to deal with it is like nope. Now Grandis has also been working on a bunch of trifles. She completed all of the travels and tales last year. The only thing left is trifles, and I can get an anniversary cake for my house, which I really want. But while doing that, I discovered there's some odd gaps in requesting that, when I thought about it more, made sense. But it's particularly for instances. So, well, featuring ants and stone giants up in Evendom, because I think about that time I was going back and forth between. I'd done some North Downs troll shawls, kind of going back and forth, and then I was kind of branching into like Evendom and doing some of that. And I think I even ended up heading towards Forakel some. And then I was persuaded that I really should go and get my LI. And that also put paid on having headed north out of North Downs into Angmar. So I discovered, that I had never done the one where on Gware. I've done it on other characters, but on Gware, the one where you like go and drug the giants, pour something in their pot and stuff. That whole quest line in the Eve Spires, I had to do each. There's like 3 rounds of one for each of them. I had to do all of that to get to the end to do the one with Longbow and the heart rot and all that to do that instance. I also then discovered today that I got some useless armor up in Angmar because I kind of totally just went ahead and went back later. I went and got my LI and I just started questing in Moria. I decided, why not? And went back later and did all of the epic, but I never got fem armor on Gware. And I had to do those 3 rounds today to also finish it. So I've got one more set of reflections, and then I have to start doing all the emotes to strange and various bosses in different things. It'll be fun trying to find somebody so I can go and emote at Dragok. But anyway, but yeah, I've got one more set, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, what did I miss in that I'm going to have to do? So report on that later if that happens. Over in ESO, I've mostly we'd hit Covenant Hero last week, so I've been working on leveling up scrying on Miss Shiny and got some interesting things for the house. That's kind of the fun part of that, and lots of gold.
Did you level it?
I think I'm up to like 5, which from what I understand, and I'm most of the way through 5. I haven't done anything with it for the last few days, but from what I understand, by the time I hit like about 7, then the only reason you need to do the rest of it is for more housing stuff, which of course I may end up doing. But then if you're at least level 7, you can get all the leads for the ring and the different good gear, the mythic gear you can get. I actually did some questing on Magica Nightblade, who now feels much more powerful with some champion points to boost her behind the scenes. And I did the one where you go to Fort Amal, and I had to slip in, and I was given a drink, and I turned into a wisp, which was kind of fun. Except for then I kept getting spotted, and you immediately get attacked, and poof, you're back at the beginning, and you have to start over again. That was kind of annoying. I thought I was never going to get it done. I think it was the 5th try because I'm just impatient and I was just wanting to get through. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. So I think I may be back on the Magica Nightblade some more sometime soon. Sans, what did you get up to this week?
Well, with the Girls of Middle Earth this week, I found my least favorite place in LOTRO and have sworn off of short characters for the time being. Too bad those race change tokens are so expensive. All my characters would be tall now. Yeah. The Rhythm set is my least favorite place in all of LOTRO. It was horrible.
Wait, have you been to Rimmercant?
I've been inside the door of Rimmercant because I got a quest that promised free armor if I would enter Rimmercant. And so I entered Rimmercant. And then the quest updated to say, no, you have to actually complete the raid to get the free armor. And I was like, I'm solo. I'm not completing the raid right now. And I left and I haven't been back. So
It's like, okay, thanks, bye.
I have not been through the Rimmercant. Though I have to say that quest was disappointingly inaccurate.
Bait switch.
Very much a bait and switch. I was like, really? You're gonna bribe me to go into a spider place? Well, I guess I can do it for this cool armor. And then they're like, no, you don't actually get the cool armor. Sorry. Do this solo. Have fun. Yeah. I need to find a group probably to do that eventually, but it's all spidery and gross, and going in there once was enough so far. Anyway, so I went to the rhythm set.
It is much more wide open than rhythm set. That's why I hate that.
Horrible. And my poor little hobbit was like inside all of the horrible spider webs, and ew.
Sans, how do you know? How do you know? Because you said, okay, I'm gonna put you on follow and just close my eyes, and you did.
I had to keep looking up to see where I was and if I was actually hitting anything. And then I kept regretting it and closing my eyes again. Anyway, it was bad. I don't like it. I don't want to go back. I don't want to go back on any short characters. All my characters need stilts. Race change tokens are too expensive. I need stilts.
Hobbits and stilettos.
Well, I mean, technically that would work.
As tall as the human champion? How'd that happen? I have no idea.
Hit draft?
Yeah. But whoever made that place, if their goal was like icky horrible spider place that nobody ever wants to go to, you did a great job. But that place is horrible. So yes, I found that on girls. The rest of the girls' stream was fortunately better. Some moose met their demise. I pretended to be a champion. And wished I had stilts. So yeah, and had some firework healing afterwards, which was helpful. So that was a very distressing spider slaying mission. And yes, all my alts need stilts, definitely. And then I collected steel tokens on the field trip. And I did insist that we get the spider slaying out of the way, so we don't have to slay spiders, at least in the Lone Lands, again on those characters. We got some other slaying done too. We killed some wargs and some wolves that probably didn't need to be killed, and some goblins that definitely needed killed. And I gained a level, so that was good, because I was trying to catch up in levels too. But we got steel tokens, and so I got torches, and started carrying my torch around before logging off, which was pretty cool. And then, after the field trip, we went warging, and I got more steel tokens, and it was awesome! I have 30 steel tokens on my warg after warging, and you cannot turn them in. It is sad. You go to the barter, and they're like, monster characters cannot do that. And I was like, rats, they said they were going to fix this as soon as possible, and I waited like 3 days. What's up?
Well, there hasn't been a patch yet.
So hopefully it'll get fixed pretty soon. But it was kind of funny because it's like, it's totally like the monster character standing there, like offering to sell you these things, and it's like, monster players can't do that. I'm like, that's kind of
who can?
Nobody. That's who. Also, I'm also sad because
wait a
I
minute.
have a
You know
sturdy
what?
steel key still, and I can't use it. I have it from like 3 years ago.
I think I know. You remember how when we were on, and apparently some of the Coldfell's elites kept killing people in Grams? Maybe it's for the Coldfell's elites.
That's who can do it. They need us to be able to play as the Coldfell's elite in Grams. Pick off the no. So yeah, that was interesting. But it was fun. We got a lot of slaying done, and ran into a frayed with a crade, and that's always entertaining. So, Actually, we encountered them several times. And my baby
Because there were like 28 people out there, and they were all...
There were like 28 freeps, and probably more than that in the creep raid. Yeah.
Not to mention
the
the
crate probably
singular
only had
hunter
24,
that we found.
but... Oh, yes. Surrounded by another hunter and a burglar. Yeah. That hurt. Several
and also
defeats.
the solo hunter that we always find in the same place.
Oh yeah, we found that one. 2 of you took that one out. But 4 of us couldn't take out the hunter and Berg duo that were running around. They killed us. Like 3 times. And we even got help from a spider, and they still killed all of us.
They somehow kept on popping heal after heal after heal, and it's like, how are they doing this?
Yeah. So, that was sad. But they eventually died as the crate came running over the hill, and that was funny. The crate
lawnmower
just shows up and like runs them right over. But yeah, it took the whole crate to knock those 2 out. That was kind of sad.
It's like the crate didn't even stop. They came over the hill, just mowed over them, and kept going.
I know. And my baby consular got her starship in Star Wars this week with Maven and Natesha's baby consulars. And that was kind of fun. But my consular hasn't visited her starship yet, so she probably needs to do that and talk to, is it C2N2? And get that over with. Because I was like, I need to go to bed. I don't have time for this. I'll just stay in the cantina.
When did your consular get the starship?
On Monday night.
Well, I mean, like level or part of, whatever.
At the end of the Coruscant story arc.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we finished up Coruscant.
Okay.
And it was getting late. And so instead of doing the last set of quests in triplicate, we just did them all simultaneously because we're like, we need to go to bed, but we're so close. So, I don't know what they all said, but...
At least you got a ship and not sexual harassment.
Well, yes. I also didn't pick any flirt options, though. Actually, I don't think any came up.
No, that'll be coming for her on Nar Shaddaa.
I just provided healing, and healed the person who was training me. So she's saved, and now I need to go help out other people. So, Terry, how was your week?
Well, in LOTRO, Terry Adwin has finally acquired the fancy new pocket item.
Yay!
Finally!
Yay!
I can now stop killing myself with weekly missions. And I did do the further adventures missions, but I was so tired on Wednesday, and I didn't even read. I was just, because I needed to get them, because I went into Wednesday, and I still needed to do like 24 missions. And so I did as many Elder Slade ones as I could stomach, and then I did a handful of Wildwood ones. No, then I went and did the 10 in Elder Slade, I did the 10 for Further Adventures. But after reading the initial quest, I had a hard time keeping my eyes open even, so I'm just clicking, and I'm like, please let me stay awake long enough to finish this quest chain. And I got through those 10, and I had 2 left to do. So I went to Wildwood and I did 2 more. And then I collapsed into bed. So I still don't really know what the Further Adventures were about, other than somehow we rescued Bilbo from Gobliny Place. And yeah. So at some point I will redo them, probably on another character, even though they're repeatable on Terry. Just because I think she's pretty well... I'm pretty well missioned out. I'm kind of LOTRO'd out right this minute because of banging my head against the wall on missions. But I did get my Year 9 rewards, which includes the little blue Palantir. So now Sarissa has both colors of the Gazing Orbs, because she's got the red one too that you can buy from the store. So she has her red one, and then she's also got the blue one now, which is very exciting because she's probably the only character who will use it on a regular basis. In Star Wars, our Sith characters rampaged through a rogue Sith compound. And it's hard trying to keep track because, Calabathian's never really played it before. So I'm trying to track where her character needs to go in addition to where my character needs to go because we're two different Sith classes. And I thought we were all done. And I was like, okay, let's take the quick travel port. And then as the progress bar is going, I'm like, oh crap, we can't leave yet. But I couldn't move fast enough to cancel it out, so I ended up taking mine. I was like, okay, go ahead and just take yours, and then we'll go back. So we have to go back in there because there's one more thing she has to do before we can leave and go back to the Masters. And she should
and it
enjoy.
has nothing to do with that Sith woman.
It has nothing to do with that Sith woman, but you will probably enjoy it. Because Nickon will. I'm sure Nickon will enjoy the encounter that is waiting for him back at Grothin's compound, based on how well he reacted the first time he met that character. And then in Civ 6, I've actually been playing a lot of Civ 6 because it doesn't require any real concentration or thought. I can kind of click my way through it because there's no timer or anything. But in this week's content update, they have, and it wasn't in the patch notes anywhere, but scout units now have a little command to pet the dog. It doesn't do anything, like there's no benefit from it, but it has a little animation of the scout unit petting its dog, and it's really cute. And yeah, that happened Thursday. So Pineleaf, how about your week?
And I'll begin with my lower level warden on Crick Hollow, where I searched for a missing hobbit. So I went through all of those missions. And on Honor, because they opened up the next section, my warden headed out into the woods of the Woses. Then over in ESO, my main character that I've been playing lately has finished the last of the main quests for the main storyline, England, Umbra. Because you know how you have this main storyline that goes all the way through, and then you usually have these side quests all over the place. So I finished up all of the main quests. So that's all done with. Essentially, I was doing this week anything I could to avoid going back to Cold Harbor.
Nobody blames you, I'm sure.
Yes.
What else can I do? I can go back
Yes.
to... No, I'm not doing that.
No. I did do some quests with some Argonians with the pyramid in Cold Harbor, but
that was neat.
Yeah, that was a nice little quest.
That's actually really interesting. I'm kind of fascinated by some of the world building, because I've not played any of the other Elder Scrolls games. Like I own the Game of the Year edition of Ultimate Deluxe, whatever edition of Skyrim, and I've played maybe 20 minutes of it because I have a really hard time if I'm not being directed in a specific area. If it's just explore whatever, I get extremely distracted and I kind of lose interest. Plus, it's a solo-only game, and my focus has been a lot on stuff that I can play with other people, so that if I get stuck, they can come help me. So, yeah, I really know nothing about Elder Scrolls history except what I'm learning in ESO, and all of the history when it's introduced in ESO is like completely fascinating to me. And I've not played any Argonians because lizards kind of aren't really my thing. Right. But the history, especially the history that we learn in Cold Harbor, I thought was really, really cool.
Yeah, in fact, I don't think there is too much significant history of Argonians outside of lore books in any of the other Elder Scroll games, because you really don't go there all that much into their lands. There might be some maybe in Morrowind, since there are some Argonians in Morrowind, but outside of that, how much do they investigate? But ESO, yeah, it's quite a bit in there. Yeah, that was a very interesting thing, trying to understand the connection between the Argonians and the histories. And also on top of that, in my quest to avoid going back to Cold Harbor, I was also trying to clear out my quest log, which had built too many quests have gotten in there. And also, I was looking for antiquities all over the place. And in fact, I reached master level. I've gotten up to level 8 in there, and I've found 2 master antiquities. Those are the only 2 that I have found leads for so far. So I got these 2 parts of a part of 2 different rings.
Ugh.
And apparently there are 5 parts to them or something weird like that. It's hard for me to understand. But anyway, I've got quite a bit more to do on there, and one of my
Let me-
goals
I would say, let me guess, Malakath and Pale Order. Because I think those are the ones that you see the most. Malakath is, I think, the stamina one, the DPS one. And Pale Order is the Magicka one?
something.
Or is it the other way around?
Yeah,
Maybe the other way around.
I can't remember because I was. But anyway, I was searching for those all the way through. It's sort of because I gained about 5 levels since then, so they're exactly. So I've switched out a lot of equipment since that time because right now I'm level 33 maybe or something like that. 32, 33, somewhere in that range.
Well, I think that the quests end up giving you 5160 stuff, though. I'm not sure if that would matter what level you were.
Oh, you mean on the...
For the leads. Yeah.
Well, yeah, it does talk about that. It does say something about level 50 or 60 or something like that on there. But I don't remember too well. All I know is that it was a lot about rings and...
Well, you can get a mount, but that's like 15 pieces. I was kind of like, I got a lead for it. I'm like, no.
Yeah. Well, I just going around I've been going around trying to clear out, because one of the things I've been doing is to make sure that I have no active leads to anything other than the greenies, since the greenies, of course, have permanent leads that you always have. They always, since they're a constant one in there. So I was clearing out any non-green leads out of my log. And whenever I go to a new area, what I try to do is I'm trying to do each of because the codex has 3 each for the green and blue ones, so I try to finish all the greens and blues in that area, which usually gives me at least one lead. What are the next levels? I think red or something like this. One of the intermediate leads also, so I usually get at least 1 or 2 of those while I'm in there. But I've only had 2 master ones drop, so we'll see how long it takes that to go. But I've been just going around, searching all over the place, playing the Antiquities game. And doing anything I can to avoid going to Cold Harbor. Over in news beyond LOTRO, we have received word that Amazon has canceled their plans for a Lord of the Rings MMO. So I think a lot of us were wondering what they were going to be planning on doing this, and now we'll never know.
They haven't had good luck with getting video games out. Because I know they're the ones that are making New World, that they had like a beta or something, alpha or beta testing last year, and everybody that I normally watch on Twitch was like all excited about it and trying to get into the testing and seemed to really like it. And then it was supposed to be out and it wasn't, and it's supposed to be out early this year and it wasn't. Now they're saying maybe August this year. So yeah, they keep, and that's not the first one that they've had that they've tried to come out with. But this seemed to have been contract disputes from everything I've read. So who knows what would have
Yeah.
happened with it.
Amazon seems to, the video game industry does not exactly seem like their strong point. Our top supporter this month is LOTRObuild.com. This is a collection of full LOTRO databases, including an items database, a relics database, and a titles database. And you could use it right from Discord through LOTRO Build Bot. We currently have 16 supporters on Patreon. If you'd like to join this illustrious raid of players and help support LOTRO players, you can go to the donations page. You can support the Players Alliance on Patreon. Your money would be used for our podcast hosting, website hosting, and to pay for our live shows. We did not receive any emails this week. If you'd like to send one, you can send it to podcast@lotraplayers.com. You can also follow us on Twitter, the Players Alliance @PlayersAlliance, and Lotra Players @LotraPlayers, Arendis @Arendis, Pineleaf @Pineleaf Needles, Senswinda @Senswinda, Terry Edwin @Terry Edwin, Guarendis @Guarendis, and Calabathian @Calabathian. The Players Alliance has 2 shows on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. You have DDO Players News, and on Saturdays at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. You have LOTRO Players News. You can join us for our shows at LOTROplayers.com/live. And that's all for tonight. And this is Pineleaf Needles reminding you to skirmish responsibly.